Hello and welcome to Lord Lucan. A very, very good evening to all of you, and welcome back to the Lucan Manor. This evening, as is now the way on a Monday, we have a super special guest to join us to do all kinds of fun things, and it is, of course, the person that you know it is. But before we do go there, please do click on the old like button and tickle the subscribe for us. That does help us very much. We're on the cusp of a 2000, so do please come and join us. Right then, so without further messing around and chatting broadly about nothing, we're going to skip directly over to the man himself. Do please welcome one of the most popular people that have graced the screens of Love, and all the lockup stuff. It is, of course, Mr. Deonte.
Hey,
Hello there. Thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you.
what's up, man? It's a pleasure to be here. Always.
We are very, very pleased and grateful to have you with us. We've got lots of questions. We've got lots of different things to do this evening. And those of you in the chat, if you do have some additional questions that you'd like to go, do please chuck them up there. I am watching and I will see them go past. So then, Mr. Deonte, you and I, of course, are going to be agony uncles for the evening. We are going to handle all kinds of amazing relationship issues and dish out some of our wonderful advice. Do you think you're somebody that is quite good at helping people out with their problems, Deonte?
Me?
Yeah.
Probably not. But I mean, hell, I have fun with it.
Good man. So what we're going to do then is I'm going to bestow upon Deonte various conundrums, various problems. He is going to help negotiate his way out of, or our way out of, these particular problems. And in between, of course, we're going to ask a few questions. So then, we are going to head straight away into question or problem number one. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Dear Uncle Deonte, I really like this girl at work, but I'm not quite sure how to broach the subject. She always seems interested when I talk to her, but I've heard she has a boyfriend. Should I send her a picture of my penis?
Well, nephew, back in my day, yes, that's exactly what I would have done. But you know what? We're not going to do it like that. All right, we're going to do this nice and subtle. All right.
Okay.
You don't want to run her away. This is not my day. Okay, you send her a nice little message. Say, hey, listen, young lady, I know you got a girlfriend. Excuse me. I know you got a boyfriend, but
you never know these days.
Hey, man, I'm better. No, I'm kidding.
Sorry, go on. Yep. So you send her a nice message. Yep.
Send her a nice little message. You say, hey, listen, sweetheart, listen. I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes. I know you got somebody, so please don't take this as being disrespectful. But I just can't help but notice, every time I look at you, every time we cross each other's paths, I can't help it but feel like, some kind of feel like we got some kind of vibe, some kind of connection or something. So I ain't trying to sound too, forward, but if it ever don't work out or something, or I don't know, I would love to at least be friends, get to know each other, something like that. Do something nice, subtle.
I see. So
don't be
kind of
forward.
So break the ice first before you bam dick pic. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And then you go to the dick pics.
So you said back in my day. So I think we're actually of a similar generation, you and I. So what would have been your strategy back in your day?
Oh shit, man! Back in my prime, shit.
You're I don't know. I kind of young, sir. Of course you are.
Well, I'm 36 now. I'm approaching the 40s, but back in my days, I mean, it depends on the girl, man. Like if I know a girl is like that and she down, that's what she want to see. I used to be down. I mean, still to this day, sometimes if you about it, I'm about it. But I'm a little more respectful these days. Like you can't just come at a girl first conversation and hey, this is my dick. That's
Well,
weird.
well, absolutely, absolutely. So while we're, I mean, we've gone below the belt very, very early in the conversation, and while we're there, you've got an OnlyFans site, haven't you?
Yeah, I got an OnlyFans.
I noticed you folded your arms a little quickly on that one. So what was it that inspired you to go ahead and set one up?
Well, to be honest, I've had an OnlyFans for quite a while. I've had one like since my very first season. The reason why I even started it is because I started getting like a lot of people in my DMs, a lot of fans of my females that kept saying you need to start an OnlyFans because sometimes they would show me on the screen shirtless or whatever, and I guess you could see my balls. And then I didn't make it no better because I was always on Instagram posting videos of me working out in my compression pants or whatever. And I wasn't purposely thirst trapping. I wasn't purposely trying to show my bulge. I just can't help it. It's there. And then I wear those pants when I work out sometimes.
But
So,
you must have noticed there was a banana in the greengrocer's window, if you know what I'm
well,
saying.
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna act like I didn't see it there once I saw the video, and I was like, well, I know that's gonna get some attention, but whatever. But that's kind of what inspired me to start it because I'm like, all right, everybody want to see what I'm working with. I ain't ashamed of what I got, so yeah. Why
Oh,
not profit off of it if you
well,
got it like that?
yeah, why not? Why not? Absolutely, absolutely right. Okay,
Yeah.
so on that note, I'm going to slide away from Bratwurst right now, and let's go for a different one. Okay, you ready? This
Right.
is problem number 2. Dear Dr. Deonte, I am a 63-year-old married man. Are there any medicines to sexually excite a woman? I have a 50-year-old neighbour who could benefit from it as she has lost her desire to have sex. Do help. So
Well,
what do you think might be the route to a woman's desire, Deontay?
the root to a woman's desire to have sex. That's an interesting question because I thought you were gonna say I'm the one having the problem getting it up. I was just gonna say, well, get you some Bluetooth, son. But
Yeah,
woman.
it's sort of in danger of saying, right, I want to drug the woman next door. You
Yeah.
know, it's got kind of like an air of, okay, so he's a married man but wants to have sex with the lady next door, but she's not up for it. How do I,
She,
you know, it has that kind of air to it, doesn't it? But in your experience, young sir, what's the route to a lady's desire?
hmm, a root to a lady's getting them libidos up, basically. See, that's hard. That's a hard question for me to answer because I've always been able to do that. It's all about your game, my man. It's all about how you come across. If you telling me that this woman ain't feeling it, I'm not even trying to sound cocky. It's because he just ain't had the right man. You got to go over there and show her what's up.
All
Go over
right.
there.
So how might that play out then? So let's say it's this is going to be a stretch of the imagination now. Hold on for this second. So I'm some 50-year-old woman, and you're a 63-year-old man. And I've said, oh, Dave from next door, I need my bushes trimming. Would you mind popping over? How might you command that situation?
Well, see, if I was young minded and you told me you needed your bushes trimming, my mind would go one way completely. If I'm 63, you 63, you got to approach that a little more mature. You're talking about a 50-year-old woman here. This is possibly a cougar. And remember, you got to compete with these young cats that got a little more stamina than you. So you got to make sure you on your A game. Like, especially if you an old head. Like, if you an old player, you already know what's up. But listen, man, you 63. You got the experience. These young cats, they don't got that. You can get this lady everything and more. You go over there, you know what I'm saying? You let her know, hey, I don't know, feed her to a nice dinner. You know what I'm saying? You get her down there, you start talking to her. How long, you look good. I mean, you look so young. I can't believe you 50, you know?
I
Are you
see.
single? How was that so? How are you single? You know, then she gets comfortable. Then she gets to talking about, oh, you know how long it's been since I've had a man. You know, I just, and then that's when you ease your way into it. You know what I'm saying? Even make up something. Be like, yeah, you know, it's been a while for me. I just haven't met the right one. And you get that sympathy. And then, you know,
Well, the thing is, the man's married, apparently. So but it sounds like you're talking from experience. Have you met a cougar in your travels? Is that something that's happened?
yeah, I've been involved with two cougars. I had my first cougar when I was 21. And this woman was 47 years old. And I was in the Marines, and she basically took care of me for a minute. You know, I was driving her car. She would come get me off base, and I would go stay at her house with her. All she wanted from me was, you know, the D, basically. It just got to a point where I'm way younger than you, and so she got to talking to me like I was her child half the time and not her man, and I couldn't deal with it. And then the second time, I was engaged to an Asian woman from Taiwan who was 12 years my senior, and that that probably was one of my best relationships. Actually, it just the only reason it didn't work out is because she lives in Taiwan. It was just too long distance for me.
Well, hey, look,
But
you'd be up for 90-day fiance next. You know,
yeah, I could have.
you could have sold that one, man. This is where we could have seen you first, right?
Yeah, and she got to a point too where she's older than me, so sometimes she would talk down to me like I was her child, and I don't deal well with that. So you know,
Gotcha. Perfect. Right. Next one does have a subsequent question. I've lost it. There it is. Okay, so see these people. It seems to be more of the mature thing. So, dear Dr. Deonte, I'm 43 years old. My wife believes that I'm having an extramarital affair, but it's not true. Every day she applies nail varnish on my penis to check if I'm being unfaithful.
ooh,
I feel a burning sensation and it hurts me. Please help.
um, sir, are you sure that burning sensation is coming from the nail polish, or have you been having extramarital affairs, my guy?
Well, it also depends on what colour it is, doesn't it? You might look like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer when you drop
Yeah.
your trousers. But so what do you think about that then? The being marked, just in case that you might be being a naughty boy.
I think that's crazy as hell. I would never do that. Okay, and that's wow. People actually do that.
According to this person, according to this person, you never know. It could be the man or the woman.
You're a better man than me, brother. I couldn't help. No, you're a better man than me. Do you not? What? You don't even know what's in that stuff for them to be putting that down there. That might damage something down there. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that serious. Just ask me to smell it if you want to know. You know?
So we again we've dropped below the belt again here, aren't we? This seems to be a bit of a theme. But so while we're there, Nicole Jr. That was that's one of the that's actually the moment where I was introduced to a character called Deonte.
Oh,
I think it was I think it was Cinnamon Toast Ken. Quite a big following that brought that one up. So how did you feel about that when that was kind of launched into the stratosphere and was connected to you?
yeah. I don't even know who that is, but I've talked about this before on my YouTube channel on various lives. I did not want that thing to be put on camera on TV. Period. The only reason they even knew it was mine. That was mine, and I did name it Nicole Jr. Ain't no shame in my game. That was my dog. The only reason they even knew about it is because when I, did the casting, the guy in casting was trying to get me to admit that I had messed around on Nicole while she was in prison, but I hadn't. So I was like, bro, I got something for that. I didn't have to do that. And then I told him what it was, and that was the biggest mistake I ever made. Because when I did that, that's when the production, everybody wanted to see it. Like, I had to bring it to a Zoom meeting and show it to him. And the executive producer lost his damn mind. He said, "Oh, we got to have that." And I'm like, "No, we don't need to have that. That's embarrassing." But I didn't have a choice, so we went with it, and it was what it made history. Like, I can't live it down to this day. So
it is one of the things that people have
yeah,
so asked about, if I'm going to ask about, and I just had to, really. I mean, you
they
see,
made me lick that thing on camera with whipped cream and chocolate syrup on it. It just didn't make the cut. Thank God it didn't make the cut. I was like, why are y'all making me do this? Matter of fact, Derek was there for that scene. It was the very first scene when he was in my room looking at all them gifts I bought. We did a scene where I had to lick it right in front of him, and it was so embarrassing.
so Derek, your friend, this is kind of like, so what was the weirdest thing? Do you think that Derek thought, the fact that you were doing it, the fact you were doing it in front of him, or the fact that they wanted to film it? I mean, this is a crazy situation to find yourself in, right?
He was just as weirded out as I was. He was like, "Oh," then they made him touch it because they was like, "Touch it, Derek." I was like, "Y'all gonna make him touch the thing?" He didn't want to do it, but he tapped it real quick. It was weird to him too. Like, but we just went with it. I felt like I didn't have a choice. Like, I didn't know you can say no sometimes, but I mean, luckily it didn't make the cut. I guess somebody in production had common sense to know that that was too much to be putting on TV. So it would.
I guess that would have because the show's like rated what, like TV 14 or something, isn't it? I think that would have tipped it right over into the 18 plus range, wouldn't it?
That would have destroyed me. I already got destroyed enough about that. That would have just did it.
So do you think that's like, of all the moments where you might look back and kind of cringe at yourself, with that rate amongst the top three?
Yeah, that one when I was crawling behind Nicole on my knees, that was all me. That ain't nobody told me to do that. I just did that.
So when inevitably there's Deonte Jr., that's around, and he's kind of like, "Hey, Daddy, I've just seen this." How do you kind of reason that out to him or her?
Listen, man, I would say, son, your dad lived an adventurous life. That's all I can say. You know what I'm saying? I lived in, I made history. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows me, even if it's for bad stuff. So.
Well, I think that does add to the richness of your character. I think it really does, and I think that's one of the reasons why I think maybe you endear yourself to people, is that it's sort of unapologetically you. Like there was a time where you got your car stuck in some mud or something like this. You're all dressed up in your velvet suit, and the car's wheel spinning, and
that wasn't even supposed to be the scene that day. That just was a real thing that happened, and they just had to have it. I was so pissed. I didn't even want to be there at that wedding. Like, that whole deal. I just did a YouTube video explaining that whole thing, how I didn't want to be there. Like, I was pissed when I found out I had to go to that wedding. The whole scene of me with that suit on, where I'm in my room cutting up, I was actually mad, but I just put on the show. And when I was driving out there to that part, I didn't want to be there, so I got myself lit right before I left my house with my stuff and my Hennessy. I took like 4 shots of Hennessy. So as I'm driving out there, there's a producer sitting right next to me interviewing me, and a producer in my back seat, away from the camera. That's why you can't see her. And as I'm driving, they're telling me to veer off farther to the right. and I guess I veered off too damn far, off into the ravine, and it was embarrassing. And I was actually trying to get us out because the producer in the back was like, "Oh my God, we're gonna die," and I was like, "No, I got it, we good." And I just kept getting more stuck. And then the executive producer that was out there, she shoot it, get it all. Like, no, don't shoot this. It just it turned into it wasn't supposed to be a scene, but it became one because it was real. They like it when they can get them real moments. They gonna get it. They don't care how embarrassing it is.
You seem to
So
have more of the real moments than most people. You know,
yeah,
I think this is, you know, one of the reasons why maybe they you know, you've returned so many times to the screens is that you know, you're the gift that keeps on giving, Deonte. I think this shit always
oh well,
happens to you.
yeah. It's some of that I believe they want to happen to me. If you want me to keep it a buck, like I got my whole experience with that is I got left in the dark a whole lot of times with a lot of stuff because they wanted certain reactions out of me. Like I now understand what it is. You know what I mean? Like somebody got to be the one that don't know stuff because they need them real reactions and my facial expressions, my reactions in general. I guess is good TV. So sometimes they gotta exploit somebody, and unfortunately, I seem to be always the one that gets exploited the most. But it is what it is.
I think it makes fantastic TV. It really, really does. So while we're hanging around that one, so have you? There's some new stories about Nicole that have kind of cropped up. She seems to be in a spot of bother. Have you been in contact with each other at all recently?
Hmm. You know, for a long time, I've been trying to avoid a whole lot of things. Honestly, because I've been afraid of the ridicule, even though I get ridiculed 24/7, so I should be used to it. There's certain things that I decided I've kept to myself because, I'm kind of tired of not being able to just be me and be empathetic to who I choose to be empathetic to, regardless of how horrible of a person they may have been. 'Cause you never know what somebody's going through, and you never know their backstory unless you really know them. So as far as that goes, I just got done before I came up here. I just got done making a video that I'm gonna put on my YouTube channel and probably upload it tomorrow. So where I finally come out and speak about that because it's been a lot of people out here speaking on me, making me lash out because I just been sitting back listening and observing because there's certain things I don't feel like I owe to the world and certain things I didn't broadcast on television that I don't owe to the world. But when it comes to her, that is a relationship that was on TV. And there's been enough stuff said out there already. So I
So is
just
that a
give a
yes?
little I just give a little teaser right here on your channel to help you out. So to answer that question, have I heard from Nicole, been in contact with her, seen her? I'm gonna go ahead and keep it a buck. And you're gonna hear it here first on your channel, and I'm gonna answer your question. Yes, I have.
And then we can find out more. Would go ahead and quickly shout out your channel? Because I tried typing you into YouTube before and it come up with nothing. So tell us the name of
Yeah,
your
yeah.
channel.
Well, the name of my YouTube channel is Dive Into It with D. Type that in there, I should pop up. Or if you type my name, Deonte, or Deonte Love After Lockup, I should pop up. So I just answered that question. I get more detailed into it in my actual video. I finally open up and talk about it. It's not exactly what you may think it is. You know, there's a lot more to it than that. And actually, there is some footage that I'm gonna put on there that ain't nobody seen other than me and Nicole, and you'll see. I explain everything. It's not what people think it is. It ain't.
I like it.
You know what I'm
Good.
saying?
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
things just happen and you become cool with certain people you may have thought you never would be, you know? So
we shall watch with bated breath. And you know, if you ever need a guest for your show, Deonte, you know, I might be free, young sir. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
yeah.
So,
But as right now, as a far, because a lot of people ask me about my relationship status too. As of right now, yeah, I'm single. And truth be told, I probably need to take some time just to focus on me. And I don't really want nobody to give me their heart right now because I'm honestly afraid of what I might do with it at this point. I mean, I'm down to have fun, you know what I'm saying? Do what it do. But
almost
right
sounds
now,
like a very dodgy, like Tinder description. I'm down to play right now, but you know, my heart's a little fragile. So, but what if the right Mrs. Right comes along? What would you know? Would you
and
be prepared to change your mind?
of course, I never say never. I always leave the door open for stuff, for anything, you know. It just, right now, one of my biggest issues is, and what I started to learn about myself is I'm very, very impulsive, very impulsive. I'm real stubborn and bullheaded. And when I get my mind determined on something, I just want to do it regardless of what anybody else say. That's just how I am. And I move too fast with a whole lot of things. And so I think I don't know, I guess it's because I'm getting older. I think it's part of the course to slow down a little bit, you know, have fun. Because it's out there like, excuse my language, but pussy is out there. It's just a matter of going in your DMs if you want it that bad, and you know, just have fun,
You watch
man.
the show, right? You watch the season of Life After Lookup that's just finished, right?
Yeah, I wasn't able to catch the last two episodes yet, but I seen clips.
Are
I
you
seen I
you're
seen
familiar
Lindsay.
with a character called Derek, or as we like to call him, Dirty Derek, right?
Yeah, yeah, I know them. Monique and Derek, man. Listen, a lot of people can come down on them, but if you ask me, they doing the damn thing. They're doing what a lot of us should have done. Yeah, capitalize on that. Like I should have did all of that because as hard as I should have did all of that. But I was always afraid to get in trouble, like with production, because I believe a lot of the stuff that they're doing, production probably don't like. So I was always wrestling with that, but I wish I just had that attitude back then and like just go for it. Because there's so many opportunities I turned away, or I wasn't able to take advantage of because I was always trying to go by the book and just getting the runaround, just losing opportunities. So
Well,
kudos
that.
to them
There
for
is the
taking care of.
rumor, of course, that Derek and Monique have been fired. So you know there is that kind of an idea. But if you were to be Derek's mentor in
Hmm,
romance, you know, dragging it back to the Agony Uncle, what advice would
right.
you give Derek, being in the position that he's in or was in?
And he in right now, but I would tell him, nephew, I would tell him to slow down for a minute before you self-destruct, because I've been there. Like you're riding a wave right now, and you're on fire, and you're on top of the world. Take advantage of it. But slow down a little bit, because as much as you're enjoying the fruits, I can see the mess that's going on too. You know what I'm saying? So,
What
but
do you
be
make of?
unapologetic to you, like he's doing, like they're doing. They ain't letting nobody interfere with what they got going on. People talking about them, but you see, they still stick together. So I mean, you gotta get props to that.
Do you think the
Cause it's
proposal was genuine?
huh?
Do you think the proposal was genuine?
I mean, only they will know that. I mean, I'm assuming it was. You asking the wrong person. I got a bad pick. I
I'm
mean,
leading you down all kinds of paths now. You see, that's it's very bad of
yeah,
me to do that. It's you know, from one vet to one of
right.
the others. Yeah, good man. Okay, so this next one, I'm going to segue back to the theme. So, dear Dr. Deonte, I've fallen for a girl, but she's an anime character. Is it
Ooh,
really a bad thing?
not necessarily. Not necessarily. I'll be honest with you. You know, I used to have a crush on Lola Bunny when I was younger. Okay, it's not weird.
The one from
Honestly,
Who Framed Roger
uh,
Rabbit.
some people have, Jessica Rabbit. See,
Yeah,
there
yeah.
you go. What you got, my friend, is called a fetish. Okay, you like anime characters. There's nothing wrong with that. Here's what you do: you go to one of those, Comic Con fest or something where those girls like to dress up as anime characters. There you go. You can live your fantasy in real life.
I see. So
Or you can just go on Pornhub and watch that too.
all right, okay. So somewhere between Pornhub and cosplay. There we go.
Yeah.
That's some solid, solid advice there, young sir. But so with the the idea then of this, where did you get the suit from? I joked that it was something I've seen sort of like in my 80s, sort of like
Man,
things. What was going on with that?
I got that suit. See, what happened was production messaged me, a few weeks before coming to film and told me that I needed to purchase a tux for whatever reason. I didn't know why. They didn't tell me why until they got there and we had to shoot that scene that day. That is when I found out what I was doing. That's how they did me.
So
But I didn't know I was.
When you saw it, you was just like, yeah, that's the one. That's the,
I didn't know
that's
why.
the one for me.
I didn't know why I was buying the suit, but because truth be told, the two of them were already married while we were filming that. They just hadn't been married on camera. So, but it was so last minute. I got that suit off Amazon, man. I went right on Amazon and just typed in, tux or whatever. My favorite color is red. So when I saw that red velvet suit, it just caught my eye. The slacks came with it. And the reason why they look so baggy is because it was so last minute, I didn't have time to get it seamed up the way I wanted to. So I just had to rock with it the way it was. And then I also seen the shoes on Amazon. Because truth be told, I wanted some gator skin red shoes. That's what I was looking for. But then I seen those and I was like, oh, let me get those. And then I seen the belt also. And I said, oh, I got to get that too. And then I just created that outfit. The bow tie, I think I got from Macy's or something like that. And then the shades also came off of Amazon. It's that simple.
It was the height. And that was why I should have asked previously and got you to wear it today. It would have, a couple of gentlemen wearing particularly beautiful suits, I think would have really clinched it. Would have clinched it.
I should have put it on.
Yeah. All right, then. Are you ready for another question, young sir?
Yeah.
Okay. Dear Dr. Deonte, I am a 36-year-old single man. 6 months ago, I had sex with a housewife. Then I made as many as 220 strokes in 40 minutes of our intercourse. Today, I could only reach 180 in the same time. Please reply. I'm worried.
So you can stroke more at night than you can in the daytime.
Well, he was with one particular person. I mean, the fact that this guy's actually counting them, it's 1, 2, 3. That's beyond me. But yeah, so he's gone down in his stroke counter. So I think the general gist of the question is, so he's lasting less time in bed. What do you think would improve his performance?
Tell you what, if you want to improve your stamina, your performance, I would say do what I do, man. I work out. Okay, that's why I call myself the jackhammer. That's why I can go for long periods of time for the most part when I'm in the mood. Because, hey, man, I work out. If you want to, as a matter of fact, if you want a shortcut, I got a buddy of mine that was in the Marines. He used to take this thing called Extend. For whatever reason, that worked for him. All right.
Thing called Extend, did you say?
Yeah, some kind of pill called Extends. And I was like, what the hell do you need that for? And it helps me last longer. I was like, all right, buddy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, man, get your reps up, get that stamina going. Just, you know what I'm saying, pump you some iron, get you some adrenaline. Or here's what always helps. A few people know the secret. I ain't gonna say it out loud, but See this right here? Get you some of this,
Yeah.
and then go get it in. Watch how 10 times more amazing it'll be. Turn you into a beast. I'm trying to tell you.
So while we're in the sort of the housewives area of things, did you ever see? I'm sorry, I'm dragging you back to Nicole again, but did you ever see her as? I mean, how did you see that relationship kind of pan out? Would you imagine that she would be the kind of woman that would be more kind of homely? Do you imagine that she would be somebody who's out there and working? Do you think she would have just completely relied on you? How do you see it?
In the beginning,
Mhm.
when I first got with her, I wasn't getting to know her after the first few months. I kind of assumed that she was gonna come out, we was gonna be living together, and I was basically gonna be taking care of the majority of everything. Yeah, like I assumed I was just gonna be taking care of her. Like, I never had this fantasy that she was just gonna be a living girlfriend for me, and I could just have her at my leisure, or nothing like that. Like I'm laid back, so I always assumed she was gonna come out and do her own thing, work if she wanted to. I wasn't gonna force her to work, but if she wanted to, I wasn't gonna combat her. And yeah,
You
I
must
was
be
just
earning.
gonna.
You must be earning pretty good. I mean, I'm not going to ask you about your financial situations necessarily, but I mean, you must be earning pretty good. You know, when I think when the question was posed to you by a young man in the cut, it was so how much have you spent? And you said, I don't know, some grands, and it was like 20 or 30. You must be doing all right. What do you do? Can you tell us what you're doing to be earning this good money?
That might have just been a little of an exaggerated amount. I'll say that. But I'm a welder. I work at a Navy shipyard as a welder.
They get good
So
money. So it's the same as Jeffrey Dahmer or Blaine,
yeah,
as
I
we might tend to
the
call them.
money
He's a welder too, right?
yeah. Did you say Jeffrey Dahmer?
Yeah, doesn't he look like Jeffrey Dahmer? Don't you think? On my channel, we call him Jeffrey Dahmer. It's a term of endearment. I love them dearly. Same as Lindsay.
I know. I know somebody that looks like Jeffrey Dahmer, but yeah,
Good.
he's actually Lindsay's boyfriend. I'll just put it that way. But
Yeah,
yeah,
as I say, it's a term of endearment that you know, and you know, we've got nicknames for everybody over on my channel. So Lindsay, of course, we call Discount Kira Knightley, but of course, again, it's all meant with much love and things
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
It's meant with much love with you when it comes to that, and not me.
Yeah,
uh,
you see, I wasn't sure whether to broach that subject with you. You know, it's a tough one. I was watching, you know, there's the part where you kind of you approach her, she's sitting on a bench, and you go up to her and you kind of say, okay, well, look, it's you know something along the lines of me or him. Forgive me if I get the phraseology wrong. And she goes, no, and you turn around and walk off. I mean, that must have been a kick in the balls, right?
yeah, that was a very real moment. That I'm gonna dive more into that when I get to that episode when I review it because I am now on that season, just starting. But that was a real moment, and when we were arguing in the car like that prior to getting there, it was real. That was me finally saying what I had always like, what had been frustrating me about her. And when she jumped out the car like that, that's just lame. She's can be overly dramatic like that sometimes. And to be honest with you, as mad as I was with her at that time, I used to hate to see her upset with me. Like I used to hate for her to be mad at me because I was real in love with her. So that is what made me jump out the car and follow behind her, even though I felt like I was right and I wasn't wrong. I hate to see her upset at that time. So that's what made me. That's why you can see me like shaking my head and like, man, let me just get out and follow this girl. And then it turned into a disaster after the fact. But for that moment, I tried to make things right.
You come across like a real kind of genuine guy. I've seen the comments coming past, and I think quite a few of them have said that it's really great that you're opening up and you're really kind of like transparent about it. Do you think though that's sometimes gone against you?
Yeah, because sometimes I'm a little bit too open, too honest. Sometimes I open up, like I ain't even gonna lie. I don't know what's wrong with me, which I'm starting to learn about myself. Is I just got this habit of just opening up to everybody. Like anybody that is willing to listen to me when I'm going through it or something, I open up. Even when I know it's somebody that might not have my best interests at heart, it might take something I say and use it against me later on. Like for instance, a Lindsay or somebody else like that. You know what I'm saying? But that's just a flaw of mine. But I can't help it. Like when I'm doing stuff like this, or even on my channel, I can't help but to be transparent. I I like for people to see the real me. Like who I was on that show is not all the way the real me. So that's what I be trying to get people to see. It's like it's difficult. Like when you getting ridiculed every day, constantly, just for being yourself and just loving hard, even if it's loving the wrong people. And then when you got these people controlling your image and adding all this other stuff to it, and you gotta be quiet and you can't say nothing about it. Then when you do say something about it, you become a liability and you are loose cannon and all that. Oh well, like it don't matter.
I understand what you're saying. I do understand what you're saying. So if everybody was to be able, if you could kind of like hypnotize everybody that watches the show or all any of the shows to understand one thing about you that wasn't seen throughout the course of those episodes, what would that be?
Oh man, one thing that wasn't seen about me that is the fact that I actually do have a fucking backbone. Cause it was plenty of times where I put Nicole in her place and they cut it. It was times where, I got into it with Lindsay and they cut it. It's almost like they needed for me to be portrayed a certain way. You know what I'm saying? So I would take that out of anything, is that I'm not as soft as I was portrayed to be. And I'm not fucking slow. Like I get tired of people trying to diagnose me with stuff like that, because I take that personal. Because there's people out there that actually do got disabilities, and you know what I'm saying. And people make fun of that. You know, so I might be gullible and naive and have a bad picker when it comes to certain things. But the last thing I am is slow. I'm a veteran. I wouldn't have made it through the Marine Corps like that.
Well, I was going to say, you are a Marine, and there is,
Yeah.
standards to that. So there was there was a question that popped up here actually. It's so are you done with inmates now?
Yeah, I ain't, man, let me tell you something. I have inmates to this day call my number from that prison Lindsay was at. I done had like 3 inmates call me out the blue from that prison she was at. I guess for whatever reason, my number got left there from her stuff.
It's probably written on the cell wall somewhere,
And these girls call me trying to get with me, and I tell them all the time, I don't want no more inmates. I'm good. I'm not trying to go back on that show with a whole ass new inmate if that's what you're trying to do. Nor am I trying to be in a relationship like that with another one. If I ever go back on that show again, it would be with one of the two that I was already on there with, and that's Nicole or Lindsay. I will not go on there with a third whole new ass inmate just to be on the TV show. And evidently myself and Rachel from my first season, my best friend Rachel, are extremely popular within federal prisons. She Rachel, Rachel, I'm popular in female federal prisons, evidently, and Rachel is popular in male and female prisons. Crazy.
I'm
I
just going
can't get
to
rid of.
I'm going to skirt back just to pause there. I'm just going to skirt back for a couple of other questions. There's been some questions in chat, and I've seen a few come and go. So I'm just going to go back and just ask a couple. So so for example, from Zion Shaw says saying hateful things to women does not mean backbone. Do you think that sometimes there's a difference between being able to address somebody's behavior affirmatively and having a backbone?
Okay, you got to define hateful things to women because that sounds like somebody that's upset with me because I'm always going back and forth with certain people in comment sections or certain bloggers. So they take that as me saying hateful things to women because these are women, and then they come at me sideways, and then because I reply,
I think the way
I'm
I kind of redefined it ever so slightly in the sense that, okay, so if you're able to come back at somebody and to stand your ground, do you think
yeah,
standing your
I've
ground and saying what you think is the same as having a backbone and
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
doing what you need to
There's
do?
moments there, I'm saying that's what I'm saying. There's moments in there where I've told the girl no. There was a moment in there because I got a lot of heat on one of those scenes where we were sitting at the table with my mom, and it seemed like I checked my mom and let Nicole slide. But in our reality, I checked Nicole the same day at the same table. That part of the scene just got cut. So it just looked like I came for my mom. But they do stuff like that. I ain't
So
never called anybody out their name and called them a bitch or nothing like that. I ain't disrespectful like that. You gotta push me there. But yeah,
so mummy says, why do nice guys finished last?
that's a good question. You know what? I that's one of the things I said in the video that I just recorded and haven't edited yet. I said being a part of this lifestyle in general because I've accepted the fact that I'm never gonna have a private life again. I'm always gonna be a public figure because I love social media. So I was on this before I was on TV. I'm gonna be on it afterwards. So that's just what it is. And
Do you think you're
so,
finishing last?
as huh?
You come across like a nice guy. Do you think you're finishing last?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that when I walked into this, a lot of people fell in love with me, the character that I was, because I walked into this thing, pretty innocent and green like. But going through all of this, going through what I've been through a few times, and just dealing with what you have to deal with that comes with it, it changes you. Like I gotta admit, like I've changed a lot. I'm not as sweet as I used to. Like I'm still sweet, but I'm just a different person now. I'm not all as nice as I once was. You see me on the internet last night at people now,
Yeah,
my heart now
I've
got
seen
a
that.
bit more.
I was going to ask you that. I'm going to ask you. I was going to do one more question because I'd seen
Yeah.
another one, and like there's so many questions. This chat has got some great questions for you, and I'm sorry, chat, if I don't get to all your great questions. There was one more here from Lady Heather of Beechington. Did Lindsay reach out to him first, or is he the one who reached out to her?
Uh, no, Lindsay reached out to me, which I was gonna get into that at some point, anyways. But yeah, she, for the longest time, I defended Lindsay to the core because everybody swore up and down. She only reached out to you because she saw you on TV and saw what you did for such and such, and she needed you to get back on the show and all this. Because I swore up and down Lindsay didn't reach out to me until before I was ever even on TV, so she wouldn't have seen my story. But I ended up being wrong about that because I went back and looked for some evidence at one point, and I seen the date when she reached out to me on Instagram. And sure enough, I was 3 episodes in already by the time she reached out to me. And she was able to see each of my seasons while she was in prison because she was in a federal prison and they get WeTV. So she saw my entire story. So I'm not saying that she reached out to me for that reason, but you can't argue. I mean, it kind of do seem that way.
See, yeah, I think that's stutter. You do you think that there's an element of that though, or you believe
It's
that
just
there could be an
it's
element
just
of that?
because recently I just discovered a lot of things that I probably should have known all along that I just didn't want to believe or just didn't want to, I don't know, admit. But after a while, you see everybody's true colors, and just like I dropped a little spoiler that I heard from Nicole, or that I interacted with Nicole here recently, that you'll see when I drop my video. I'm gonna drop another one too, another little spoiler, because I also admit in there that since I had announced that I was single, I did hear from Lindsay, and I hadn't heard from her since, September or whatever, but got a call from her on my birthday, and I thought things were okay, and then somebody sent me something, and I seen them true colors. So now I'm at the point now where it's like, okay, for so long I tried to protect her feelings also, but now I'm at the point where like you get to a point where you got to stop caring about people's feelings. You got to stop caring what people are gonna say, how they gonna react. Just say fuck it and just
So
do what
what
you're
would you
gonna.
do? Here's a hypothetical, completely hypothetical question. So let's say for whatever reason, Blaine wasn't in the picture, whatever reason, and you get a call, and Lindsay's like, hey, Deonte, I need my bushes trimmed. What, what, how would you react to that? What would be going through your mind?
If I'm in a situation and I'm single and I get that type of phone call, I done already been with Lynn, so I ain't gonna never turn down that. You know what I'm saying? But
Sorry,
as far as
I don't understand. So you're never going to turn down that, as in you're never going to turn down that road, or you're never going to turn her down, as in to refuse her.
no, I thought you meant I need my pussy trim. You see where my mind goes at when you ask me that?
It
That's what
was
I
a
thought you
reference
were
to
talking
our earlier question. It was a bit of a loaded question. It was slightly,
about.
yeah, it was
No,
slightly
I
loaded.
mean, if that was to happen right now, he wasn't in the picture. If he was to call me and say something like, I mean, like, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like, there will always be a part of me, regardless as problematic as she can be, and how even though I see her true colors and how mad she makes me sometimes, there will always be a part of me that will somewhat care about Lindsay. Same thing with Nicole. Same thing with my ex Cece. It's just when I develop that type of relationship with you, regardless of how we work out, it's always gonna be a part of me that cares about you. So I might not be all that crazy about her right this second, but if she was to reach out to me, if a whole bunch of time passed, and she was to reach out to me, depending on the situation I'm in, how I'm feeling, I don't know. As of right now, no, fuck no. Not right now, no. I've seen enough. So, and you will see what I'm talking about whenever I drop my video. I'm gonna drop tomorrow, but
See, this
I
is good. You see, I think I think I should be getting some advertising money here for your website. I think
right.
you've just been monetized, haven't you? You just passed over the 1,000 threshold. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even pay attention to the subscribers either. I just noticed it. So
Yeah.
that's
No,
what's up.
welcome to the that puts you in the category of 9.8% of YouTubers have made it over 1,000. So that's a good thing for you.
I'm a few watch hours away from monetized too. So
Oh, you've still got to hit that one. Yes, yeah. Do you know what? I hit that one first. It was the subscriber bit that I didn't hit.
yeah.
Anyway, enough of that one. So, just out of curiosity, so what is it that if you were to your let's say for example, I'm going to put you in a hypothetical. You're with Lindsay, and you're seeing your mate. What's his name? Derek, is it?
Yeah.
And imagine Derek hasn't met her before, and he say, "Hey, look, I'm with this girl, Lindsay now, and she's really." How would you finish that sentence?
So this is if I was just meeting Lindsay and then telling him about her.
Yeah. What would you? How would
That's
you
just
describe her? How would you talk about her?
as if like you asking me like as if I had just met her and I was telling him.
Yeah, like you and me having a drink at the bar. I've got a
Uh,
glass of red. You've got a pint of whatever it is that you drink. And I'm like, hey
uh,
Deonte, how's it going? You're like, yeah, man, everything's really cool. I've just met this girl called Lindsay. I'm like, oh yeah, cool. Tell me about Lindsay. What's the best thing about Lindsay?
oh man, I gotta put myself back in that. That's all right. I gotta put myself back in that moment when I was head over heels. I ain't even feeling like that right now. Hold on, I can do it though. Hold on. All right.
Here, there's some real
Yeah,
body
bro.
language going on here, man. It's what they
All
call
right.
re-anchoring. That means
All right. Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro, I just met this chick, man, named Lindsay, bro. Like,
Yeah, wicked. Tell me about her, man. That's cool.
and they here be like, oh yeah, what about her? Yeah, bro, she fine as shit, dog. Like model type, you know what I'm saying? Then she country, she got that accent. I love that shit, you know what I'm saying?
All right,
Kind of
I'll be
feisty.
Derek. I'll be Derek. Yeah, you be you, and I'll be Derek. Okay. All right. So she's got
All
a
right.
country accent. Yeah, yeah. So is she like pure country?
Oh yeah, bro. Like this chick is like straight like I'm trying to think of something she used to say. Like that's can't think of nothing right now, but she got this thing, man, where she get to rambling, and I remember now. You promised me Disneyland, and I got the county fair, and I'm like, just the way she said it, bro. Like, and she tripped this, bro, and she kind of feisty. You know, I like that. You know, can handle it though.
Oh, I'll be Derek again. Shit, bro. So did you go cornholing? Apparently that's a thing.
Cornholes.
Yeah,
No, man,
yeah.
we want to take somebody
Blaine's got
cornholes.
a cornholing thing in his garage. I'm reliably informed by a member of our beautiful Mississippi inhabitants that he has a cornholing contraption.
Uh no, man, we didn't go cornholing. I said later for that, man. Actually, she took me to some bar called Lucky. She liked to hang out there. It was cool though. You know what I'm saying?
Good man. Good man. All right, so let's bring up another question. We haven't done too many of these. Let's okay. I'm trying to. Okay, so this one's a bit of a long one. Okay, so hold on tight for this one. All right, so my boyfriend is the biggest chatterbox I've ever met. And what makes it worse is that on rare occasions, I do manage to get a word in edgeways. He just stares at me vacantly, as it's clear he's not listening to a word I say. I want to dump him, but there's a weird reason that I haven't. He's got a third nipple in the centre of his ribcage. And when he takes his t-shirt off, his torso resembles a very kind-looking face. It's as though his regular nipples are like eyes, his additional nipple is a little nose, and his belly button is a cute, surprised little mouth. Anyway, I've taken to calling this chest man Christopher. And when my boyfriend is sleeping, I have long one-sided conversations with him about my feelings and about what happened during my day. Christopher's a great listener, and though he never responds, it's clear he oozes compassion and sympathy. I've even started to develop strong sexual feelings for Chris and taken to kissing his mouth stroke belly button when my boyfriend is snoring heavily. I've realised things have gotten out of hand when I become frantic one morning last week after spotting some belly button fluff in my boyfriend's navel. Take it out, I screamed. Christopher's choking. What should I do?
Ma'am. See, it sounds like you're having an affair with your husband's third nipple on his chest. Just I don't want to sound rude, but you might want to go talk to someone about that, or
She's
just
talking
tell
to
your
you.
husband.
This is Dr. Deonte's surgery.
Or just
This
tell
is
your.
where you come in.
This is where you tell your husband, honey, it's over, but it's not over. You don't listen to me. You don't give me the time I need, but there's somebody that does. He's gonna get all mad and get all frantic and what do you mean? Who you messing around with? You're gonna say, pull your shirt off. He's gonna pull his shirt off, and there you go. And you're gonna say, we're gonna make love, but I'm making love to him and not you. Okay? So you don't kiss me, you just lay there. You need your equipment, but I'm making love to him. And y'all
So,
just
would you say it was wrong then? You know, because she's clearly got feelings for somebody else, but the somebody else is a part of her boyfriend. So, is
so
that
it's silly.
cheating?
So I mean, I can't really say that's cheating because it's your husband, but it's not. I would say make your husband feel good while also telling him that, you're in love with his nipple. I mean, keep it a buck. What else can you do?
Would you recommend she talks to him about this?
Yeah, of course. All he can do is get mad. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still him, right?
Well, that's it. Maybe he just needs to learn to talk a bit less. I
Yeah.
think that's the thing, isn't it? She just needs to be like straight up and kind of
You
go,
do a little bit less of this and more of this.
yeah.
I
See?
know it's a man thing. Trust me, I go through it. Sometimes when my girl used to talk. Sometimes I used to listen, and sometimes I didn't. I used to portray it like I was listening. So it's a man thing. But
Do your best. Let's role play again. I like our role play. This is cool. Okay, so I'm gonna be what's her name? Cece? Or
no, no,
what's
no.
her name?
I
Sorry.
don't want to. I don't want to put her in this.
All right, let's give me a name. I need a name for a hypothetical girlfriend. Give me a name.
Go. You use my friend Jenna. Jenna don't care. Yeah, use Jenna.
Gemma.
I got a friend named Jenna Shay.
All right. Okay, so I'm Gemma. And all right, okay, so I'm gonna do the talking, and you got to sit there, and you got to look like disinterested but interested. Okay, this is like a big acting deal for you now. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Deonte, I come home and you ain't done nothing around my house. What's all this shit round here? And what the fuck is this under the bed? Have you been fucking this thing again while I've been at work, motherfucker? I think that looks. I think it looks great. Let's go to the chat and see how his acting skills are. Can I have a 1 to 10 in the chat for acting skills?
You're like, oh yeah.
How do you like
Acting
my
like
acting
a
skills,
listener all the time.
Deonte? Do you think I did a great job of being your girlfriend there? I thought that was fantastic. I think we're due a show of our own. What do you reckon? We should watch a WeTV, right?
You actually kind of sound like Jenna because that's my homegirl, but she cusses just like that, motherfucker. So yeah, you like her.
Yeah, I was doing my best. Well, we've got all sorts of numbers here. We've got anything from anything from -10 to +10. Thank you, guys. We've got a 10 as well. Look at that. See, they love our acting skill. I think you and I, Deonte, we've got a future in B movies. What do you reckon?
Absolutely, straight to DVD movies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, straight to OnlyFans movies. Yeah. Right. Let's. Oh, we've done that one. Let's go on to this one. It's from a woman's perspective. This one. D movies. Yeah. Thank you, Lady Linda. I like that. That's kind of fun. Remake of Deliverance. Oh yeah. I love that music. Are you familiar with Deliverance, Deonte?
I've heard the name, but I don't think I ever watched it
Oh,
though.
it's got that piece of music.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so.
I was gonna say you do the beat and I'll do the thing. Right, let's see. So, dear Dr. Deonte, will playing with my breasts make them bigger? My boyfriend insists it will. He's 22 and I'm 19. He spends the evenings fondling my breasts to see if his theory works. I don't think there's any truth in it, but I really wouldn't mind them having a rest. Oh, dueling banjos. Thank you, you guys. What advice would you give there, young Deonte?
Well, if your guy's playing with your boobs and they, you know what? I heard that theory that does make him bigger. You know what? It takes a while, but yeah, just let him keep doing it. You're 19. They should be nice and firm anyways, but he's just trying to help you.
Do you think, though, this is just a complete excuse by this person? And he's like, yeah, because if you do this, they're going to be even better. It's like, no, it's not. That's just him just sort of saying to his missus, yeah, just let me do that shit. And here's the reason why.
No, it's just an excuse for him to touch her boobs. That's all it is.
Yeah. Because if not, every man would have like a 9-foot penis.
Yeah, right.
I think we're almost at the end of the questions. I know it's a disappointment, right? Okay, there's one more. All right. Dear Dr. Deonte, I'm a 35-year-old man. Again, all these people are quite old, aren't they?
Yeah.
My wife has a strange habit of urinating in the tea she serves guests at our home. She says, she says it gives her a kick. Though I was shocked at first, I've started enjoying it too. In fact, I do the same when making tea for guests. I heard that drinking urine is not harmful. Is it safe to continue doing this?
Sir, absolutely not. That is dead ass wrong. That might be safe for you guys, but you giving unexpecting folks your urine to drink in. No, no, I don't want to taste urine. That,
Have you ever spiked any in the nicest possible way? I'm not like condoning roofies or anything here for a second. Have you ever slipped something in somebody's drink, just for fun?
oh no, I can barely drink myself. I'm such a lightweight. I wouldn't even know how to spike a drink. So no. I can't even handle that. I can barely handle beer, let alone trying to spike somebody else's drink.
You're not a drinker. You wouldn't.
I, I drink beer. Like when I go out, I prefer beer because it's about the only thing I can handle. Like when I drink liquor, you would see a whole nother side. Like I act a complete fool. And I can handle like the fireball whiskey, but I can get drunk off of that too. And the liquor, I just don't like how it makes me feel afterwards because I get to throwing up and don't remember what I said or did half the time. And so, yeah, that's why I prefer beer. Or
So
I
when
prefer to smoke.
you was out with Gabby, however many nights ago.
Oh, yeah.
You weren't drinking then?
Yeah, I was drunk. We were drinking that night. We were taking shots that night. Now, on certain occasions, yeah, I'd be with it. So we were taking shots that night. That's why I was so vocal in my live videos because I was drunk. Like,
See, I thought
that,
I thought you were even going to start rapping at one point. I was having a flick through your thing, and I was thinking you'd be one of the few men on Lalu or wherever incantation of love after whatever
yeah.
that hasn't gone for a rap career. So
Because I can't. I ain't even going to attempt to do something I know I can't do unless I got a ghostwriter.
well,
You ain't gonna see me.
that hasn't stopped some people on the TV show. I mean, there's some pretty freaking terrible terrible tracks released off the back of the show. I'm not going to name any names.
Yeah.
But what would you say then if you were approached by, I don't know, EMI and they want to put out some sort of track starring, DJ Deonte and the Wonder Crew or something like that? What would you say?
I'd be down as long as you're gonna ghostwrite for me because I can't rap. I can rhyme, I can flow, but you're gonna have to write it for me. Like, and you know what? It's crazy because I'm a writer. I can write. Like I write. I have a whole series basically that I wrote with a friend of mine. It's that I can't write rap. I don't know why. I can
Tell
write.
me about that. That's really interesting. What do you write?
Well, me and one of my buddies a long time ago, like in the 8th grade, came up with this basically cartoon series called Twisted Tunes, where he started it. He can draw really good, and so one day he just drew a picture of Super Mario aiming a gun at Mickey Mouse, who was on his knees crying, and there was like Dragon Ball Z character dead on the other side. And Pikachu was laying there with his head cut off, and then Luigi was over there too. And I was like, "What is this? This is amazing!" And it's just something he drew, and he would continuously draw these pictures with these different characters doing adult things. And then I just started writing episodes behind them, and then we turned it into an entire series to where I wrote 110 episodes, and I got 3 folders stacked full of pictures that he drew for 3 seasons.
So,
The only
what would
reason why we
happen
know
now? This you can't. We've got to explore this more now, Deonte. You've got me incredibly intrigued. So what is this, a romantic comedy? What kind of genre are we talking about here?
Well, we created this thing in the early 2000s, in the year 2000. So it was basically around the time South Park and all that was popular.
Okay. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's why we created it like that. And basically, Super Mario is the main character, but he's a gangster. Like Mario is the gangster thug that don't nobody mess with. We got a couple other like Superman is in there, and that we made him a racist character. We put like Yakko from
Super.
the
Hang on a second. So,
Animaniacs.
so Superman's racist. Okay,
Yeah,
so he only
got Yakko.
saves white people. What? How does that work?
Oh, that I came up with that because he drew it. Like basically, what it was we would add different characters. It basically all he needed was a picture of a cartoon character, and he could draw it. So I used to go to the grocery stores and shoplift like coloring books and stuff with different characters on it, so he could draw them. And Superman was one of those characters. So he would draw them, and it would usually be my responsibility to give them some kind of personality for the show. So I had like certain characters, like I had one of the Animaniacs that was a crooked cop. We
Yeah.
had Doug.
What a great show. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. They're played
we
by
had
play contracts. Yeah.
We had Doug from the TV show Doug. He turned Doug into the gay character. Like we just had different characters. And so with Superman, I basically had the whole Justice League in the cartoon. And because the Green Lantern on that cartoon is a black guy, I kind of had the character Superman make a little low key, you know, subtle racist comment to him trying to be funny. And then I just took it and ran with it and turned Superman into just a full blown racist. And then I made Batman Jewish so that he would, be going up against both of them basically. Because back then in that time, we're 13, 14-year-old boys, and society is not as woke as it is these days. So we just going based off of, what everybody's making fun of and stuff. That cartoon would never be able to see the light of day these days.
I was gonna say
Number one.
a racist Superman and a Jewish Batman. That's it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had what else? It was so many different cartoon characters with different personalities. Like we had the cool people, we had the people that was punks. Like it just was adult theme, like very South Park theme. And obviously it could never see the light of day because all those characters that we had were our licensed characters, and then it was just too offensive. I mean, it was okay for the time because we were teenage kids and it was the 90s and the 2000s. But now, we grown and things are different now. And there's certain things that was okay and funny to make fun of back then ain't okay now. You got to understand that. So.
I need to see this. This is the coolest thing. I need to know what the Deonte writes.
I have
So what else do you write? You said I'm a writer. What do you do? Like sitcoms? What?
Yeah, that's what it was. It was like a cartoon series where I wrote every episode. I had a title. I had a story arc for what I wanted it to be and what I wanted to continue on to get to whatever next episode we were getting to. And I did that. And I also had a TV sitcom, that I created, but I never put pen to paper with that. It's just always been in my head. And it's basically loosely based off of me and some of my, old friends back then.
All right, cool. Do you know what an elevator speech is? Are you familiar with what's called an elevator speech?
No, what's that?
Okay, so an elevator speech is basically, let's imagine you're in a building that contains the important person that you need to talk to in order to get your show made, right? And you're off to the interview, you step into the elevator, and in that elevator is the executive director, big boss man of the whole thing, okay? And he's standing in the lift, you're standing in the lift, you're about to go to the 52nd floor, and you've got like a minute in the lift. Now, the man turns to you and he looks you up and down and kind of goes, who are you? And what are you here to do? Okay? So you then have that ride in the elevator from the first floor to the 50-something floor to explain your idea. Okay? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
My idea,
Whoa. We got to do that. We got the role play. Okay. Hold on. Let me just get that door for you. Ping. Are you walking in?
Hold on, sir.
Hello there. Who are you? What are you doing here?
Who am I? I'm the next big thing, man. You never heard of me?
No.
Yeah, man. I'm Deonte. I'm the creator of the next best big show that's about to hit the stream, about to hit the waves. It's called Twisted Tune. Let me tell you something, man. I don't know. This is hard. I never thought about doing this, something like this.
Yeah, it's called an
Uh,
elevator speech. Yeah. It's if you ever got a business pitch, this is the one to do. You get in a lift with somebody, and you've got 60 seconds to explain who you are and what you want to do. Anyway, you've got like 30 seconds. Quick.
like trip this. Have you ever thought about Super Mario, right? But think outside the box. Think of Super Mario as a gangster. Think of Super Mario having a gang of criminals behind him. Think of Super Mario having beef with Bart Simpson, who's a millionaire, who
Oh, we're on the
also has his
40-second
own.
floor. You better keep it quick.
You know what I'm saying? Think about it. Think about it. You want money, I'm what you looking for. Matter of fact, check out my drawings. You see this? This is this is gonna be the next big thing. You want to see the script?
Ping!
Got
Oh,
it.
it just hit the 50-second floor. Oh, right. I'm gonna take it to the chat. Right, chat. Do you think that you would want to hear more about Deonte's sitcom?
No, that
Or
wasn't
not?
good, man.
I want to hear
That wasn't
whys
good.
and ends in the chat, please. If you wouldn't mind, let me know.
It wasn't good. That's gonna be a bunch of ends.
It's great practice though. Do an elevator speech. Practice that. It's cool. Oh, um, it's a mixed bag. Should we say that? Oh, it's 50-50.
That's all right.
Okay. Okay. So it's about, I don't know, 80%, 70%. So you know, it's a range of things there. But I think it's a really cool idea. I'd always be interested to hear the elevator speech from Deonte. But practice that. It's a really cool thing. I used to do that to my students. They say, "I've got this business idea." All right, cool. Let's take the elevator. So I'd go ping, and I'd do the elevator speech with them. It's an interesting thing, man. It's an interesting thing. Okay,
Yeah, that was
so we're heading towards the end of our fantastic session. I've very much enjoyed myself. I'm just going to put it to the chat. If there's any questions that I may not have asked, and you'd like me to ask, then do please chuck it in. Some of them, of course, may or may not be phrased particularly correctly, but I don't really care. So I'm going to read them as they go. We have one from Lady Linda of Morganington. Do you only date white women?
no. I'm glad somebody asked that. I get asked that question 857, 67 million freaking times.
It's a big number,
Oh,
Deonte. That's a big number.
yeah, I know. It's a made up number. Listen. I will admit that I have a weakness, a thing for white women and Latino women. I've said that a million times. The majority of my girlfriends have been white women or Latina, but I don't have a preference. I like black women. I like Asian women. I like white women. I like Latina women. I like whoever I'm attracted to at the time. I guess it's just it seems as though white women seem to be attracted to me more, or at least these days. I don't know. It's a deal. I go with whatever accepts me and whatever is attracted to me, basically.
Okay.
People would be surprised at what I would actually talk to, because people swear up and down I won't talk to a black girl. And if you only knew, just because I don't broadcast everything, don't mean it don't happen. I just don't post everything. But if you only knew, I would blow people's minds. If they
There's
the
a
people,
line on your Tinder account right there. So
my fan base would lose their minds if they just knew like what half the people that I talk like.
it's good. It's fine. Another question here from Bobby. How often do you do any live shows on YouTube? There you go. It's a nice opportunity to plug your show towards the end.
I've actually never went live on my YouTube yet. I'm kind of nervous about that. All my lives I will do on Instagram at the moment. I haven't decided yet when I want to do an actual YouTube live. I was thinking about doing that with the one that I just recorded where I was opening up and telling stuff, but I was like, it's better for me to just record it so I won't be distracted by people asking me questions and I can just get it out.
I think you should
But
have me on, Deonte. I think we've got a good thing going on here, son.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I will.
I'll take
Yeah,
that. I'll take
but
that as a maybe.
but I go live on YouTube eventually. I'm just taking my time because I don't really know how to operate it all the way yet. You know.
Just let me sort. Me and Koala will sort that out for you. Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
Right.
Okay, here's one from Lady William. Lady Wendy of Williamsington. Says, would he have brawled? Would he have brawled with old Tia, like he wanted to, had the production not been there?
I actually didn't want to brawl with Tia at all. Like that, like I said, I didn't even want to be at that wedding for that reason. I knew it was going to be a disaster. So when she lunged at me, she missed. I don't know why people think she hit me. She tried it. She missed. But I just, like I said, I just did a review about that. So I actually reviewed the way my hand came around. Had she not ducked her head, I would have knocked her head clean off her fucking shoulders. Cause I lost it for a minute. I just blacked out for a minute.
I'm I fight MMA when I'm not recording. It's one of my things.
Yeah.
And I thought it was what you call a meat hook. It's where you grab the back of somebody's head and you therefore, got control of the head, you got control of the body. And I kind of wondered if that was what you were doing. I thought you were doing some BJJ and you was meat hooking her. It's take her the fuck down.
When she lunged at me, I blacked out for a minute, and I guess the Marine came out of me for a minute because that was a Marine tactic I used when I looked at it. But I blacked out for a minute, and all I seen was that hand coming at me. So I smacked it out the way, and my fist was barred up because I was gonna punch her dead in the face because I wasn't thinking about it at that moment. But I caught myself as my fist was. That's why I opened up my hand and just grabbed her head and tried to hold her down so that she wouldn't hit me, because I wasn't trying to hit her because that was a girl at the end of the day. I knew this was going to be on camera, and I wasn't trying to come across like I hit women, and I knew that's what that was going to look like. Plus, I'm a black man, and that's a white girl. Like, I wasn't trying to have that. I'm glad it didn't come across like that, because I was real nervous about that.
Another question, again from, I'm just reading them as they're coming. So we got one from Mummy. He didn't make a doll of Lindsay, did he?
Oh, I didn't need a doll of Lindsay. Lindsay gave it up as soon as she came home. So and the reason why I used a doll for Nicole while she was in prison. The reason why I didn't need a doll for Lindsay per se while she was in prison is because when I got with Lindsay, I had already told her I'm not willing to commit right now to another inmate because now I'm on TV and I want to explore this. So Lindsay allowed me to see other people while she was in prison, as long as.
Okay. Sorry, I thought you were saying something else. The way you began that sentence insinuated something else. Okay, what happened to the girl you went on a date? Oh, sorry, this is from Lady Linda of Morganington. What happened to the girl you went on a date with when you went paddle boating?
So LaCrystal, the black girl, I'm glad somebody brought that up because I done got so much heat about that. Everybody's swearing down. He ain't even want her like that. He want into her. I'm gonna drop a truth bomb right here on your channel because I already reviewed that episode a long while ago on my YouTube channel, and I dropped the tea and I showed some never before seen footage of me and LaCrystal. Truth be told, I've been with LaCrystal. That's somebody that I knew that just did that scene with me, and I've known that woman since 2012, and we never have been in an actual relationship. I used to have a crush on her when I first met her. Back then she was with the father of her kids, and I was always never her type or what she said, but. Yeah, we have fooled around a whole lot of times throughout the years, and that's always the relationship that we had. So for everybody that swear up and down, I don't like black girls, you can excuse my language, but you can do what the D-Generation X says and suck it because I done had LaCrystal, all right? We have
You
had
can say whatever you
a
want. You can
we
use whatever expletives you want. Generally, I get demonetized very, very quickly because I'll probably swear more than you do, young sir. So please do just
hold on,
feel free. Oh,
hold
here we
on,
go.
hold on.
Oh, hello. Don't be shooting nobody.
Yeah, my bad.
I was gonna
My
say
bad.
I've got previous experiences of people disappearing during my live interviews.
No,
So
no, no, no. It ain't that situation. Not like that. But yeah, you know, and what was I saying?
You were saying that I was listening. We were talking about
Somebody in the comment section will
I was
remember.
hoping so. You know, I was scrolling through. I was scrolling through. I got so distracted by the fact you got up and walked off. I was like, "Oh fucking hell, what's happening now?" I was like, he was going to check on Nicole Jr. What
Right.
did
Yeah.
you do with that? Did you get rid of her? Like, what's going on with that?
Oh, I burnt that thing. Oh no, no, I know what we were talking about. We were
Oh, the
talking
girl in the
about
canoe. Yeah, thank you, Doc Willie.
yeah, we've known it. Yeah, we've had a relationship and just never officially a couple. We just, used to fool around sometimes. I haven't spoke to her since, once that scene came on and they showed her. I'd send it to her. I say, hey, your scene coming on or whatever, and it seemed as though she got upset with me a little bit because, when it came out, I remember seeing on her Facebook she was kind of talking about me on there and saying she felt like I didn't give her, the recognition or promote her as much as I would do my friend Derek. But I feel like she didn't really understand that the reason why I couldn't, because she has a YouTube channel called Crystal and Kids. But the reason why I didn't really promote her like that or couldn't really promote her like that is because nobody was supposed to know that I had known her like that. So,
So that
if
really
I was
speaks
to come out,
volumes, though, doesn't it? That really speaks volumes that she was pissed off with you because you hadn't promoted her. So that kind of doesn't that say something to you? That
no, because she wasn't like that. She just felt like, dang, you could at least, plug my channel for me or something. I could have did that. I just didn't really think about it, and it's because I was trying to maintain the integrity of the show, and people were already speculating that I knew who she was. So I was trying to just play on to that. See, everybody knows that I know Derek. Everybody knows that's my best friend for 30 years. So it was easy for me to do that. But it's understandable, and I understand why she felt that way, and I haven't really spoke to her since then. Like, we still, I mean, I don't have no issue with her. I just kind of had my own stuff going on, and it was what it was. But she's a cool, she's a cool woman. Like she don't play. I can tell you that much. But, you know what I'm saying? She's a good woman.
love it. Good man. Good man. Thank you so much. It's been
Yeah.
a pleasure, young sir. It's I didn't realise you were actually that much younger than me. I thought we were actually of a similar age, but it turns out I'm a fair bit older than you. So I
I'm
feel.
36, man.
Huh?
I'm 36, man. I'm old.
No, you're not. No, no, you're not. I'm a good deal older than you, young sir. But well, not a good deal. I'm a fair bit older than you. And I thought we were of similar age, so I now feel like a crusty old man that is old. So then, let's see if there is any more other questions jumping in that we can answer. There are some that have popped through we can't answer. I do apologise that if don't look a day over 76. Yeah, thanks, Jan of Artistington. Lovely, thank you very much. Oh, some very positive comments there popping up. But
Good.
thank you so much for Deonte for joining us. You've been a fantastic sport, and it's been thoroughly enjoyable having you with us. We now usually head over to the Discord to do a little bit of chat. I hope that you're with us for that, and we're also hoping that the Sean and Sarah will be joining us as well for that. So I hope so. I've sent them the link, but if not, so if you've got the Discord, excuse me, do come and join us over on Discord for a little bit. With as long as Deonte will be will have the patience to deal with us. Aside from that, it's been wonderful having you. There's a lot of thank yous coming up and in the chat there. That's really great.
It's been fun. It's been fun. I never prepared to do these things. I just do them off the fly.
No, that was cool. I have a certain amount prepared. Other than that, I kind of just wing it, to be quite honest, and see what happens. But we always mess with our Deonte, and you've got some peace hands and some hearts. What's Discord? If you go to my page at the top right hand side, there's a Discord link. Do please click it. Lady Heather, yes, you will need your moustache again. I mean, everyone needs a moustache. Yes, so the link is there, of course, in the top in the top corner on the page. Do please click it. Come along. If you're having any problems, chuck me a message on IG, and I'll send you the link. Thanks, Deonte. You're a good sport. Thanks so much for this, Lord and Deonte. So there's plenty of thanks coming through, and I appreciate you very, very much, young sir. That's been fantastic. And so to the general thank you and goodbyes from myself and from the Deonte, or DJ Deonte, and the crazy squad.
We the baddest. We the best.
Yes, hit me up on either Instagram. If you're having a problem finding it, hit me up on Instagram. I've got it open. So everybody, stay beautiful. Love to my three. And you take care of yourself.